just so happy to have two such interesting artists here who are here to talk about such interesting things. So first of all, we have Milady Auguste, who is here to talk about her second novel, and she is the Vice President of a literary organisation. Please pronounce it for me. Thank you so much. I'm a German speaker, not a French speaker anymore. And she balances her life between medicine and literature. She is currently doing a Master of Medical Sciences in Global Health Delivery at Harvard Medical School. So these books are published independently. They're going to be available for you to buy afterwards. This one is actually already being translated into English, so we're hopefully going to have her back when that's ready, and then you can also buy it in English, but the copies today are going to be in the original French. She's going to be in conversation with the former Boston Poet Laureate, Danielle Legros Georges, is that correct? Yes. And she is a Haitian-born American poet who became Boston's second Poet Laureate in 2014, and she received a BA from Emerson College in Boston and an MFA in Poetry from New York University, and she is the author of 2 poetry collections. And which one of them is available today for people to buy?
Weekly at $2.50. It's a new anthology on Philly.
She is a professor emeritus in the MFA Creative Writing program at Lesley University, and she lives in Boston. Please put your hands together for both of them.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of anxious this morning because I was thinking, I'm not in Haiti, I'm in Massachusetts right now, so who's gonna come to my talk? And you guys are here, and I'm so grateful for your presence, so thank you again for being here with me. So, how are we gonna proceed this afternoon? I'm gonna talk a little bit about my writing process, because that novel took me like 3 years and a half, almost 4 years to finish it. And it was such a wonderful experience, but also a touchy subject, especially Haitian voodoo. And I'm such a visual person, so I really want you to experience with me, everything that happened for the past years. So, sur la trace de mon bonne in French. So if I have to translate in English, it will be in the footsteps of mon bonne or following mon bonne. Mon bonne is the name of one of my main characters, and ma is like saying mama, mom, and bon is just the first name, bonne, in French. So every time that I start a book, I always have, a goal. Why am I writing this? And to me, it was pretty obvious and really important. I really want to, honor my ancestors, and also my culture, our culture, Haitian culture. And I'm so deeply connected to the water, because every time that I see the sea, I think about all my ancestors who came from the West Africa in the boats to what we call now Haiti, and what they called before Colonie de Saint-Domingue. And you're gonna see, like in the book, water, the enemy of water, is always coming. And before going to my slides, I'm gonna give you a little bit of summary of the book. So the book is about Claire Le Galette. She's a 27-year-old woman. She's a novelist, journalist, really popular on social media, like typical Haitian of our diaspora in New York. And she's having a great life. She just got engaged with the love of her life. And right after the engagement, she was dealing with what we call, typical identity crisis. She was having this, these weird dreams. In our Haitian culture, dreams are not just dreams. This is the way that our ancestors, talk to us. This is the way, we can, try to balance our life or to, make some choices. So she was dealing with all that. And one particular woman started to, appear in her dreams, and that was Mabon. And at the end of the day, she had, to go back to Haiti, spend some time with her dad, her family, and she got a manuscript, something that had been written by her great-great-grandmother, Mabon. And while she's reading the manuscript, she's learning more about her, but also about her family and herself, and the deep connection that they have with voodoo. And so, why that particular topic? Why Mabon? Why Claire de Galette? So it started years ago, since I was a little kid, because my dad is from Lebanon, right there. This is Haiti, okay? So everybody knows, you know. Okay, if you go to the news right now, we're all gonna see Port-au-Prince right there. Unfortunately, you know, all the crises that we're having. But the inspiration actually came from this place, Gonaïve. And I know Danielle, your family, I know you're from Gonaïve. So, since I was a little kid, my dad exposed me to voodoo. I was born Catholic, but he was like, how can I say that, like a researcher. He had a lot of friends making up research about, you know, our Haitian culture and our Haitian voodoo. And he really wanted me to be open about voodoo, to not be scared of it. Because when our ancestors were just slaves in the colony, they came with their own religion, their own spirits, and unfortunately, the masters told them, you're pretty evil, you need to become Catholic. And since then, we always had, you know, this weird, you know, relationship with voodoo. So you're gonna find, you know, a lot of families actually being, you know, Protestant or Catholic, and they're always gonna say, you know, voodoo is something evil. But at the end of the day, you're always gonna have a cousin or aunt who's actually practicing voodoo. And what's particular about Gonaïve, there are 3 temples, voodoo temples. So this is a mountain, Greenough Mountain. When you go to Gonaïve, this is the first thing that you're gonna see. And here, this is La Souvenance, one of their temple, voodoo temple, really sacred. And we have a huge connection with what we call back then Dahomey, the king of Dahomey. Now we call it Benin. And since I was a little girl, my dad used to tell me story about La Souvenance, our ancestors, and the spirits. And there was a particular story about someone called Mambon. They told me she was a powerful voodoo priest, and before, you know, dying, she made a huge reception for all the people in Gonaïve, and she was just walking down the street and she disappeared in front of everyone. So some people, you know, they thought that she was dead, but after a particular ceremony, especially for what we call the Gede, but here in the US they call that Halloween, they always, you know, give prayers for the dead, and someone actually sent a message to them, and that was her. She was like, I really appreciate that, you know, you respected all the traditions, but I'm not dead. I'm still in Benin, I'm in Guinea, in Africa. And I was like, okay, this is a true story? Yeah. But some people really believe in that story. And of course, I was studying medicine. I'm really a scientist. I tried to find some, you know, papers about her, but there was nothing about Mabon. Nothing. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna write a story about it. I'm just gonna use that particular woman and I'm gonna write a fictional novel around her. Now, that was years ago, right? When I was a kid and after that in med school. And while I was finishing med school, I had to go there in Cap Haitian, really popular right now because if you want to go party, go to Cap Haitian, guys. So when I went to Cap Haitian for the first time, not the first time, the first time I was a kid, but really as an adult. It was in 2017, this is me right there. So when I went there, because I was looking for a house, I was supposed to start my internship over there. And of course, I love history, I love my culture. And I went to Milo in the Sanssouci Palace. But you need to understand about our history. After the revolution, we had, you know, the north of the country with a king. Yes, we had a king, King Henri Christophe, and the republic in the south. This king actually built wonderful, beautiful buildings. One of them was the Sans Souci Palace, right there, and also La Citadelle, right there. And when I was visiting that place, I was like, okay, this is so beautiful. But we never had a novel about, that particular area of our history. About, the king and the queen, the court and everything, like Bridgerton. Like, we never had something like that. I was like, you know what, maybe I should write something about that too. So remember, I already had an idea about Mabon. Was, still in Africa, not dead. And I was inspired by that place, and I was like, okay, but how am I going to do that? To mix these two ideas. So this is still La Citadelle. So in 2018, I went there again, and one of my friends, Annie, took that picture of me. I think that was kind of that particular moment where I was really thinking about the novel, actually. So I was thinking about Mabon. As I told you, I never found, anything about her. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'm going to put that character, like particularly in the King Christophe area. I'm just going to put her there. And I started to write the first pages of my book at the end of my internship. Now we're going to fly to New York. But what can I say about New York? There's a lot to say about New York. The first time that I went there, I was so overwhelmed by the city. I was like, this is too much. I'm like, too much. Like, everybody's running. They look so important. You can feel, the electricity. You feel like everything can happen. But I had a lot of friends there, and I was so amazed by, the women that they're becoming. Can you imagine young black women in New York from Haiti going to college, trying to become, someone important in that particular city? And I was inspired by that. And I was like, well, I want to write something about that too. And this is how Claire Le Galette came. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have her character. She's going to live the New York life. She's going to be successful. She's going to be part of our Haitian diaspora, because we have a huge community of Haitians, in New York. And I'm just going to write about that. So yeah, I just want to, show. Okay, so 2018, I started the first pages. 2019, I went back to New York and I kept writing because I was so inspired. 2021, I was still writing the book. And this is my best friend apartment, by the way. Marva, thank you so much for your... But after that, I went to another place. New Orleans. I've been lucky, guys. I've been able to travel around. So New Orleans, I've always been fascinated by New Orleans. Why? Because, there's jazz, Café du Monde, Les Beignets. But what I discovered is the deep connection that, La Colonie de Saint-Domingue had with New Orleans. Because while we were having our revolution, in the colony area, we had a lot of people leaving the colony. And some of them were like what we call now mixed people, because they were not sure that the revolution will actually happen to something, bigger and better than what they knew before in the colony. And I don't know if you got, well, I don't know. Maybe you knew a little bit about the this series, like this show, The Originals of Vampire Diaries. I'm a millennial, sorry. But they always talk about someone called Marie Laveau. And Marie Laveau was a voodoo priest. And I discovered that she was married to this Haitian descent man. And she became a really powerful mabo right after the death of her first husband. And I was like, you know what, I want to write about that too. So I found a way to really connect two characters, Mabon, the powerful voodoo priest, and Marie Laveau. And I was like, you know what, I'm sure that if these two women really, like, I knew that for a fact Milady Auguste existed, but if no one really existed, at this, in the same time period with Milady Auguste, they will definitely become best friends because, two powerful mumble. And I went back. I was so inspired by, the Mississippi River. This is like literally where the boats come with all the goods from La Colonie de Saint-Domingue. And that's me really happy. Still writing. So that was like 2020, 2021. And between 2021 and 2022, I kept writing. So this is me. I was literally, I was supposed to do a rotation in Conge, a place, so important to us in Haiti. So while I was doing my rotation, I had some free time, and I like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep writing. But it took a long time because meanwhile I was literally doing my residency in pediatrics, and I have to study, and I have to take care of patients. So keep writing. And in May 2022, I really finished the first draft, and I submitted it to a publishing house in Haiti, and it got published. This is me. With my stuff in my room and my book. So now we're gonna really get into the conversation. So what's next? I'm in Boston now, so I'm sure I'm gonna write something about Boston. Because we have a huge Haitian community, and I'm so proud of our Haitian community, so definitely I'm gonna write something about it. So right now we're working on the translation of the book with Joey. Joey's here. Thank you so much. You're such an angel. Because he's really excited about the project, and he really understands, the voices of the characters, the story. And of course, we're gonna have more discussion about, the keeping of the book with Danielle. And yes, definitely I'm gonna have another book. But now let's just focus on my book.
Wonderful introduction to the book, your process, the many themes and subject areas that are in it, and congratulations. That's the first thing. So I'm really appreciating how I feel so far from you, my dear. Is this okay? Yes. Okay. So, really appreciating how this book is happening in the now.
Yes.
Right. In the the protagonist Claire Legarrette is following or is in the footsteps of her ancestor, and at the same time, there's some really wonderful allusions to technology, to culture that's happening now, WhatsApp, social media,
yes.
iPads, songs. So this is a definite millennial novel that is also treating history in very compelling ways. And then the fact that you can write a novel while doing all your medical work is pretty astounding to me. So, I want to start with Voodoo.
Yes.
Which is a really strong theme in the book, and the book's protagonist's relationship to Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and in the book there are several instances in which you explain what Voodoo is through some of the various characters, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't call it a religion. So that's a question. There is reference to Voodoo as a culture, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this really beautiful passage on page 294 and 295, in which Layla explains to Claire, the protagonist, what Voodoo is, right? And so I was wondering if maybe 295, you wouldn't mind reading a little bit of this section, and then we could try to translate it quickly for folks. for non-francophone folks?
Okay. Well, I can literally translate right now.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I really love writing that part. Okay, so Claire was having a deep conversation with Laila, and she was explaining to her what was voodoo. And she was saying, because everything that you're seeing, everything that you're touching, it's only life. Everything around you is energy. The same energy that goes through all the cells of your body. You are your environment, and your environment is you. We are all one. This is the great principle of our ancestors. This is what the great masters tried to tell us all around the world, in all the religions. This is the great philosophy of voodoo. This is voodoo.
Yes. Yeah. Voodoo as sort of a powerful way to be in the world, a powerful way to connect to the environment, to others,
Yes.
and to the self, right?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful cosmology.
I can actually say just one thing about that part, because as I told you guys, I don't practice voodoo. I respect voodoo. I respect the religion. I was exposed to voodoo since I was a young kid. Of course, like through my dad's conversation with his friends, I had an idea of what was, the religion. But I literally had to have a conversation, and I'm so grateful for her, with someone who's really initiated into voodoo. I had to spend like more than 1 hour talking to her on the phone. I was like, I need to understand this. Like, okay, is it a religion? It's like, no, this is not a religion. This is a philosophy. And you have to understand that everything around us is so deeply connected. And that's the key component of our culture of voodoo. And I really wanted to say that in the book. And that was literally her words, and I'm so grateful for the conversation that we had. Because, as I said, voodoo is not only the religious part. It's the way the way we live with nature, the way we respect everyone, the way we respect life, and how we know we're so connected with everything around us.
So it is a positive philosophy,
Yeah.
a positive cultural force,
Yeah.
and yet it is often outside of realms of voodoo culture
Mhm.
and voodoo practitioners has been seen as a negative
Yes.
force, right? As a dark force, there are lots of stereotypes, right? Hollywood has done a fantastic job at rendering voodoo really terrible, right?
Yeah.
And I think that your novel draws a distinction between positive voodoo energy and negative energy, and sorcery
Mhm.
and darkness. Could you talk a little bit
Yes.
about that? I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yes. Okay, because we have positive and negative energy everywhere, in every religion. Even we have what they say in the Catholic black mass. That's the negative force of it. And what we need to understand, it's really important to have the balance between both positive and negative. And the way that you feel inside, the way that you treat others, will also be visible in the way you practice voodoo. And so especially with all the things that happened during slavery and all the negative component that they really want to put in the mind of our ancestors, so we can be really detached to our roots. Of course, they're only gonna see the negative part of it. And of course, if you have negative feelings and negative energy inside of you, it will also be visible in the way you're actually practicing voodoo. But that's the complexity of it. There's nothing, black and white. It's just the way you have to be balanced inside of yourself, and how it's gonna be visible in the way you're just practicing voodoo. And one of the, for example, back home, there's a particular rhythm, tribe, and people are really afraid of them, and we call that, bon chapeau. And of course, they're like, it's kind of aggressive, really. And of course, these spirits, because of everything that our ancestors suffered through slavery, like if you want to take care of your kids, you're going to do your best to protect them, and you can be pretty aggressive. But it's all about the way you feel inside. And one thing that's really particular about Haitian voodoo, we had so many rhythms, so many, our ancestors came from so many tribes all around, the African continent. But it was also mixed with the Taino spirits. But it was also mixed with some other stuff from our masters. And some of them were from England.
And France.
And France.
Yeah, and Spain.
And Spain.
Yeah.
And they have their own way to use energy, to do, magic stuff, to do sorcery.
Yeah.
And of course, some of our ancestors took part of that and mixed it with what they already had. And you're gonna find the dark side of the, Haitian voodoo.
Yeah.
But it's not only that. It's literally the way you are inside of yourself, the way you balance yourself. And you're just gonna see it also in the voodoo. It's not only in voodoo. As I said, you have the black mass in the, in the Catholic Church, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. And voodoo also involves like a doublure, a doubleness, right? Iconography of Catholic saints, for example, being used by voodoo practitioners to honor their own gods who had similar qualities, right? So doubleness seems an important theme. Double culture.
Yeah.
You referenced double culture.
Yes.
And there are also sets of twins, right? Marassa, who have significance in voodoo culture. Augustin, Pierre, and Arnaud.
Yeah.
And even Claire and her bestie Valerie seem like twins, no?
Yeah.
Like they have twin energy. Mambon and Marie Laveau could be a set of twins. Lila and Mambon, and Lila and Erjulie. Okay, so lots of doubleness and twins, twinning, and say more.
and you forget something, for example, Clementine and Sinclair.
Yes.
Yeah. I really wanted to show that because it's a way, for example, Haitian voodoo is so intertwined with Catholicism, right? Yeah. And so to put into context, as I said, our ancestors were slaves. They had their own culture, their own spirits, and their own religion, and they were really forced to endorse another religion. And at the time, it was mostly Catholic. And the way they find, how they could really still practice their own religion and to still honor their own ancestors is actually to put these two religions together. Two faces of the same medal, right? And to me that was really beautiful. And to me that was kind of what we call the twin energy.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to explore that. So for example, the fact that I called the main character Claire. Okay, I'm my Claire, fine. I literally say my characters are kind of like my baby, but I really wanted to show that in our Haitian voodoo, we have another spirit that's called Clementine, and they literally celebrate her during Saint Clair festivities in the Catholic religion. So you have Clementine, you have Saint Clair, same date. And you're gonna find some families, they go into St. Clair, the church, and right after that they go into a voodoo temple the same day. So that's the duality of it, and I really wanted to show that. And in Haitian voodoo, we have two spirits, we call them Marassa, the twins. And so to me I was like, okay, so we have this energy, the twins, we have the duality. So I really wanted to show that in the book. And I did that, purposely because I showed the twins, the father of Claire and the uncle. So Claire's father is open about practicing voodoo, but Claire's uncle is a priest, a Catholic priest. But to me, it was pretty important to show how, at the end of the day, you need to have a balance all around you. It's not only about being Catholic, or it's not only about being a voodooist, it's not only about going to Catholic church or go to the voodoo temple. It's always gonna coexist. And for our history, for our ancestors, that was literally survival.
Right.
And I really wanted to explore that in the book. And the Manasa spirit, that was a perfect way to really incorporate that in the book and to show that literally every chapter of the book. To always make you think about, it's not always simple.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have the best of both worlds, if I can say that way. You always have to find the right balance between the two worlds. Yeah.
I love how you work out the tensions and intersections between these two worldviews, the Catholic worldview and the Voodoo worldview. Many Haitians are Catholic, and many Haitians are Voodooism.
Yeah.
Right? Love what you're doing with communication in the book. All of the ways people stay in touch through Instagram, through WhatsApp, through social media, especially, Haitians are like masters at social media.
We are.
We just kill social media. And also dreams, which you mentioned in your presentation. Another way of communicating. You said dreams are not just dreams, right? Right? You had a dream, and that dream is going to inform what you do. My grandmother had a dream, quick aside, of my brother harming himself when he went into the woods one day. She said, don't go into the woods. Guess what my brother does? Guess what happens? So this is just an example, right? And so in your book, people have dreams, and in fact, the book opens in a dream. Could you talk a little bit about Claire's dream?
Oh, yes.
And which is going to really just set a whole series of events into play.
Okay, so that scene, the beginning of the book, is literally a voice and a song, a voodoo song. Maybe I can sing it.
Yes.
I'm gonna try, guys. I don't have a beautiful voice, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so this song is like, Papa Loco, pousse n'allait, nous c'est papillon, apporter nouvelle bayagwe. So, the song is about one of our ancestors, Papa Loco. So I'm gonna try to translate for you guys. So Papa Loco, you are the wind, and you will push us forward because we are butterflies, and we will, bring messages to Agwe. And Agwe is another spirit, is a spirit of the sea. And to me, that was really important to put that song at the beginning of the book because, as I told you guys, I'm really connected with the water. And the fact that our ancestors came from West Africa on a boat, on the sea, to go to Saint-Domingue. So Claire, she's having that particular dream and she hears that voice in that particular song. And mind you guys, Claire doesn't know anything about voodoo. She's Catholic.
In New York.
In New York.
And she's young.
And she's young, and she's a millennial. She's on social media. What the hell? Like, what is that song? So she's having that dream, and she hears that voice in that song, and she's following the voice, and she's walking on the beach, and she's still following, and she's like, she has this calling. She has to find the voice. She has to figure out who that person is, and there's all the butterflies around her, literally. Took in her hands, like all the butterflies all around her hand, guiding her to the voice, and she sees that beautiful woman with, like long hair, locks, and a beautiful white dress and shells on the right dress. And the old lady, you just tell her, I'm still alive. Come to me, I'm waiting for you. And listen to Agua, it will show you the way. And Agua, as I told you, is the spirit of the ocean. So yeah, so that's literally the first scene of the book. And that was the first thing that came to my mind. And I really wanted to keep that scene until the end, and I found a way to do it. Yeah.
Very successfully.
Yeah.
And speaking of communication, I want to lift up and ask a meta question about the writing of the book. You write in French.
Yes.
With references to Creole.
Yes.
Or Haitian. And also you're using English words and Spanish words and you're code meshing and you're like doing it all.
Yeah.
There was on page 15, you reference a character being in the la cour, right?
Yes.
In the yard or in the temple space, right? And you write in French, dans le la cour. Dans le la cour.
Dans le la cour. In the temple, in the yard. Yeah.
How did you get there? How did you get to
because
dans le la cour in French?
this is our reality for my generation. We mix everything.
Okay.
We mix literally everything. This is the way I speak. This is the way like all my friends speak. And what I really wanted to do, I really wanted to write something that feels so real.
Yeah.
That people can really relate to, and I got that, positive comment. Like some people literally, I just feel like I was in your book. This is my reality. I'm really connected to all the characters. Some people are really connected to some particular characters. But I really wanted to show what it means to be a Haitian woman right now. A millennial,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Haitian women, you have strong Haitian women characters.
Yes.
In your book, and at the center of the book is a manuscript.
Yes.
Written by Mambon, the protagonist's ancestor, and inherited by the protagonist, Claire. And she has to make a decision about what she's going to do with this information in the manuscript, right, in this unpublished book, which is an autobiography of the ancestor, Mambon. It also explicates Voodoo practices, and it advocates for their preservation and respect. Right? So this is Mambon's manuscript that Claire in the 21st century is going to receive and try to decide what she wants to do with. There's also another book by another woman reference, Milady Auguste, right? And so these women are writing these texts that contain all kinds of important information, and they're talking to one another. So women who are mythical, fictional, mythical in Voodoo realm, fictional in this book, and actual, Milady Auguste, who was an historic figure, right, are in these relationships.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know. and I can explain why I did that.
Tell us.
Okay, so first of all, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. If I really wanted to respect everything about Haitian Voodoo, and I have a wonderful person with me. Thank you for being here with me. Hi, Bobo. Hi, Bobo. So because in our Haitian Voodoo, we don't have a manuscript to pass on to our kids. We don't do that. We don't.
Right.
Because you have to keep the secrets, and you have to talk to the person's gonna take over the la cour, the temple. Because our initiation is it's literally a conversation.
Right.
It's storytelling.
It's oral.
It's oral.
Yeah.
We don't write stuff. No, we don't do that. But I'm writing a book. Okay, I'm writing a book. I really want to, honor the ancestors. I really want to advocate for our beautiful Haitian Voodoo, even though I'm not an expert on it. that I really wanted to, find a way to really show my respect and actually encourage the people who really know Voodoo to write about it a little bit more. Not all the secrets, but the basic stuff. Not only things that I can find on Google or, So because of that, I really wanted also to capture Mabon's voice. And to me, as a writer, asked me the decision. I was like, okay, if I want my readers to really connect to the characters, they need to hear, Mabon's voice. Mabon has to tell her own story. And the best way to do so is to write her own story. Back in the days, after the revolution, we have so many amazing women who helped during the revolution. But we have nothing from them. No books, nothing, nothing. It's like women never existed, after La Colonie de Saint-Domingue. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that in purpose. I know some people, they're going to be mad at me, but I'm going to do it. It's a book. So, to me, I think it's really important to protect the knowledge that we have from our ancestors. And I think we need more conversation around that. And I think we need more books about it, written by people who actually know what they're doing. And because I was writing a book, I really wanted you guys to feel connected to Mabon. I'm like, okay, she's going to write the manuscript. And the manuscript is literally a way to be connected to, the future generation. And the message was clear. Protéger la cour. Protect the temple, or protect the family. Protect, protect Voodoo. And also to not be afraid of it. Because if you literally have a guideline with all the definition and all the knowledge, maybe you'll be less scared about it. You're never gonna only listen to everything that was being said since slavery, it's evil and stuff. But if you have someone written by your great-grandmother, maybe you won't feel afraid of it. So that was my way to do that in the book. And for Milady Auguste, as I told you, I was so inspired by her because she was really powerful in New Orleans and she was a woman. And in the 19th century, I'm like, how did she do that? Especially after marrying that Haitian descent guy who died. And I was like, okay, she was such a, powerful mother, and I really wanted to honor her as well. And I was like, you know what, there's going to be also a book about her and the relationship that I put in the book between her and Mabon. Because as I said at the beginning of my in the introduction, I was like, if these two women really existed at the same time, they'll be best friends. Powerful women, two Mabons, they need to talk to each other. And I really wanted to show that because to me, like I have so many strong women around me. My mom is a strong woman. My best friends are strong women, and I'm so inspired by them every single day. And I really wanted to show that in the book how having a support system is so important, and how women need to write more, and how they need to share the knowledge, with the future generation.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but I think I did that in the book. So.
Yes. The book is underscoring how important documents are.
Yeah.
Especially against a background in which literacy was criminalized among the enslaved, right? And women's stories, just in general, not just among the enslaved, but in general, historically across the world, have been erased, marginalized, suppressed, not recognized. So this, I think, is really making a statement to the effect of the importance of women's stories. And I love kind of putting these two women in conversation, Mabon and Milady Auguste. Wow. I wanna shift gears a little bit and talk about how the book takes on cultural identity.
Yeah.
Right. There are Haitians in the diaspora, in many different places in the diaspora, and then there are Haitians in Haiti. There are tensions. Carl, the boyfriend or the fiancé of Claire, right, is going through some changes
Oh my
around
God.
respectability politics, right?
Yes.
He's a lawyer. He's a young lawyer who's going to make his mark on in one of the big New York law firms, and he wants Claire, his woman, to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Ooh.
hear.
I really, I feel so sorry for Carl though. Because a lot of people hate Carl, but I love him because I understand why he's acting that way. Because okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys to try to put you in the shoes of that guy, black guy from Haiti. He came to the U.S. while he was like 16, brilliant, got to Harvard for law school. Now he's in New York. He wants to become, a partner of this huge firm in New York. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of people who actually look like him. Most of the time, he's the only black guy. And there's a lot of tension about that. Because when you're here, of course, some of us are pretty proud of our Haitian culture. But at the same time, it can be pretty uncomfortable to be the only black person in the room. And sometimes, it can be really uncomfortable to feel like you have to prove yourself much more than another person who doesn't have the same skin color as you. And it's a lot. Mentally, emotionally, it's a lot. And you want to be successful. So there's a certain way you need to talk. There's a certain way you need to dress. And sometimes we literally have like a double identity. So when you go to this place to work in a certain way, when you go back home, you're Haitian. And it's hard. And so for Carl, he had his vision. He wanted to become like partner. He loves Claire. Like, he really wanted to be successful. And of course, that wasn't the right time for Claire to go through the identity crisis herself and talking about voodoo. So that was really difficult for him. He really tried to understand her, but they were not on the same path at all. Because while Carl was willing to actually, suppress some part of himself, of his identity, so he can be really, successful here in the U.S., Claire was really, happy to actually embrace that part that he didn't want to talk about at all. So I think I really wanted to show that in the book because personally I had a lot of discussion about that with some of my friends in the US. Because look, I spent all my life in Haiti, guys. I mean, I just came here for my master's. So when you're in Haiti, like 99% of our population is black. We don't talk really about racism. I mean, we have colorism, of course, slavery, and but it's not the same thing. It's not the same, emotional, mental struggle when you're back home for that particular conversation, race and identity. It's not the same. We're all Haitian. We love, Milady, Laro, Soswa, Griot. We love Carnival. We love to be with our family. We love Crémas, and that's it. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about politics, history, yes. But when you're here, you have this identity, but you also have to thrive in this society, which is completely different from what you have back home. It can be really, really draining to cope with all that. So I really wanted to show that in the book, and Carl was the perfect, character to do so. Even though some people hate it, I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, the guy is struggling.
Yeah. And Claire didn't end up hating him, even though.
Yeah.
Now, I'm mindful of time, so I have a few more
Well, we
questions.
started about 10 past, so yeah,
Yeah.
5-10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So, Claire did not hate Carl, even though. And there's a sexy scene.
Ooh. Are we gonna talk about the sexy scene?
We find the page here.
Oh my God.
There's lots of kissing.
Ooh.
in Sur les traces de mon vol.
Oh my God.
In addition to this deep thoughts and the deep stuff, there's kissing, and love making, There's something for everyone. There's something for everyone. Page 23. Oh my Because, but I can translate. How about this? How about we get a French reading, or I could read the French and you could translate, or you could read the French and I could attempt to translate. It's page 22. We're going there. All right, I'm going in. This is a scene with Claire regarding her beloved. Elle le regarda et la déroba. Sa peau couleur chocolat.
Oh my God.
Ses lèvres pulpeuses dévorant avec appétit son bacon. Les muscles saillants de ses épaules.
Oh my God.
Ses abdominaux qui faisaient la fierté de ses heures à la gym.
Okay.
Ses yeux, je n'ai pas encore fini.
Ok.
Ses yeux couleur noisette qui à présent scrutaient avec attention l'écran de son portable. Et cette cicatrice minuscule, vestige d'une enfance turbulente en Haïti.
Yeah, right. That.
Reveal it to the people.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay. She was looking at him, really looking at him. His skin color of chocolate, his lips sensual. Okay. Okay, this is some British thing right there. So his lips, essential lips, eating with appetite the bacon. His muscles, his abs. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. Because I know exactly what I was thinking about when I was writing this. Okay.
Anatomy class.
Which made him so proud of the hours he spent at the gym. His eyes, brown, were paying attention to the screen of his phone. And this little cicatrice. Scar. Sorry guys, doesn't translate. Okay, this little scar that was the proof of, his childhood in Haiti. His turbulent childhood in Haiti. Okay.
That's just one passage.
Well, the guy was hot, so.
All right, to pivot again. The novel takes place in many, many places.
Yes.
In Manhattan, and San Francisco, Boston, a little bit of Boston, and Port-au-Prince and Haiti, Gonaïves, Cap-Haïtien, Milo, Les Anglais, Obléon, Pétionville. We're all over the place, I think, in very, very good ways.
Benin.
Benin. Yes, Benin.
Yeah.
Yes. So could you talk a little bit about how your characters move through these spaces, why you chose to include the world, really?
Yeah.
The many worlds.
Yeah, because I love to travel and I love to discover new places, and I'm always inspired by these places. And to me, it's really beautiful to show that everything is so connected, So it was really important to put Claire in New York, as I told you at the beginning. Sorry if you were late. Because New York is such a big city, beautiful, overwhelming, but we have this huge Haitian community, and that was my way to, you know, pay tribute to that Haitian community in New York and to put Claire in that particular space. And also I was thinking about my friends who actually live there, and I had a conversation with them about that beautiful city. So I loved visiting New York, and I really wanted to put in that book everything that I loved about it. So that's for New York. And Cap-Haïtien Milo and Gonaïve is because these three cities in Haiti are so rich in history. Because back in the days in La Colonie Saint-Domingue, Cap-Haïtien in the north was literally the capital of the colony. Everything that was going from La Colonie to France and from France to La Colonie was literally going through the port in the north. And I really wanted to show that in the book, all the history of Cap-Haïtien. And Gonaïve is literally the center of Voodoo in Haiti. We have 3 powerful sacred temples in Gonaïve. Souvenirs, like I talked about in the beginning, Soukri and Bajo. 3 Voodoo temples, really powerful, really sacred, and since centuries now. So I really wanted to share that and to talk about it and to pay also my tribute to that particular place. And New Orleans is because of the connection between Saint-Domingue and New Orleans from back in the days of the colony. And I love New Orleans. The food is so good. It's just, but it's true. But we have such a deep connection with New Orleans, and I really wanted to show that. San Francisco, I've never been there actually. I love it, but I really wanted to put Claire's brother there because he's from MIT, he's in high-tech stuff, and I was like, he has to be over there. Pretty cliche, but I really wanted to put him there. And Obléon is a beautiful space up in the mountains in the capital of Haiti, Port-au-Prince, in the mountains, really beautiful. And right now, what's happening in Haiti, we have a lot of wealthy people who actually move to the mountains and live there in their beautiful houses. And I really wanted to show that. So to me, it's not, okay, fiction is beautiful, but I really want to capture what I see and what I love in the reality and really put it in my novel. And I love to travel, and I want my readers to travel with me. And because I observe everything and I have a vivid way to describe things, I was like, I'm just gonna make them travel with me and show that you can be here in Boston, but you're still connected to your family in Haiti. And you can be, I don't know, somewhere in Obléon, and you have your ancestors who actually went to Louisiana back in the day. Everything is connected, and I really wanted to show that in my book.
Thank you for this very hip historical work of fiction. It's a great text. It has taught me a lot. Get a copy. Get a copy. It's just really wonderful.
Working on a translation.
So when the translation comes out, get back to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this incredible, wonderful, powerful talk. I don't speak French, so I'm going to wait for the translation. I cannot wait. But you just talked about communication, places, and connections.
Yes.
And I just wanted to let everyone here know that while you were sitting in this room listening to this talk, we were live streaming to Haiti, to Milady's Book Club in And then just very quickly, we also talked about the Haitian diaspora, and we have among us Charlot Lucien.
Yes.
If I could take just a few more minutes of your time, I would love to have him talk a little bit about the new Toussaint Louverture Cultural Center that's going to be opening here in Boston. So if you
Thank you very much. I feel that I'm here with family and friends. I've met Danielle a few
100 years ago.
somewhere in the 1990s at the place of one of the greatest Haitian storytellers in Boston. It was my journey into storytelling. And about a few months ago, I got this phone call from this young lady, apparently from Haiti, who intended to pull together a panel at the Boston Book Festival at the Boston Library. And I got to know that young Milady was coming to study as a doctor and was coordinating for the first time her book club's participation into this event with me and Danielle as panelists. So this is fierce, and it works, and we have a full room. Now, talk about the Tucson Cultural Center. Some of you might know that Tucson Lecture, between 1992 up to 1802, successfully took over the Haitian Revolution, that the first abolition to be proclaimed in his colony of France in 1793, and then got to defeat the Spanish troops, the British troops, and then planned to fight against Napoleon Bonaparte, who was captured. Of course, however, he had planted the seed, and his lieutenants and generals took over and proclaimed the first Black Republic in the world in 1804. Now, this name of Toussaint Louverture has meaning because he was one of the many of the guys who did some of the many first abolition of slavery, gathering in his command progressive white revolutionaries, mulattoes, African leaders, all of them on the basis of equity and equality. He accomplished what the French Revolution couldn't fully accomplish: cross race, eliminating slavery, etc. Education was also key because as a child he was mentored by his godfather, and he got into reading books on Spartacus. He got to dream that he would be the Black Spartacus to free. Either way, the connection to New England is strong, as my friend Joe from Red Space would tell us, in a sense that we talk about John Adams, has actually had communication, sustained correspondence with Toussaint Louverture, to the point that he would send for the first time the USS Constitution to support Toussaint Louverture in December of 1799. You talk about Frederick Douglass, he's used the name of Toussaint Louverture to enlist blacks who wanted to get into the 54th Regiment of Massachusetts. You talk about Toussaint Louverture in 11 states on the East Coast, heading to the west, to the Midwest. You have schools, cemeteries, hospitals named after Toussaint Louverture. He's integral to the American abolition movement because he was used, positively instrumentalized, to get the abolition movement here to actually embrace the Haitian Revolution and then to motivate blacks in particular to get into the movement. So for that reason, over the past 2 decades, in 2003, we were celebrating the passing of Toussaint Louverture, and at Faneuil Hall, a host of dignitaries and academics and debates and the mayor of Boston supported a celebration of the passing of the bicentennial of Toussaint Louverture. We have actually tried to petition and to rally goodwill to either have a statue of Toussaint Louverture. We've been to Wood Ave in Hyde Park, petitioning to name a street. We failed, but as we were failing, the determination became stronger. And finally, about 6 months ago, we submitted an application at this place called Lovejoy's to cross the TD Garden, facing the ocean. That's very meaningful.
Yes.
We had a strong competition. We are talking about local organization neighborhoods from various communities, Italians and Irish and others. We got the incredible news that the submission of our application was favored by the committee.
Wow.
25 years of free rent.
Ooh.
24 wow. Rent free for 25 years, and we'll be delivering a host of programming across conferences organized in partnership with academic institutions, dance classes, regular art exhibitions, storytelling, bringing the youth into our actually walls to learn about history. It's about really changing the narrative that has been viewed more over the past decades about Haitians have needs. Those needs need to be met. When in fact, we have a history that need to be promoted and that will actually help change the narrative. We should no longer be viewed as people with needs, but as partners who have accomplished something extraordinary in history. And for that reason, once we are all empowered, the collaboration will be more productive. So we will be sending you more information, and we expect and hope you. This was a groundbreaking, by the way, successful one on Monday.
On Monday. Just Monday was the groundbreaking. Yeah.
Check, just Google search, to Celebration Cultural Center, Boston. And then in about a few, 5 to 6 months, we are heading to the grand opening and the reception. So I already see at least 25 of you. Thank
you so much.
Thank both of you so very much. We have books in this room. We encourage you to please support our wonderful, wonderful speakers.
Artists need to eat, guys.
And speaking of eating, we also have some refreshments in the dining room for you as well. So thank you so much for coming.
And we hope you come back. There's a sign-up sheet. If you like Milady's talk and Danielle's talk,
Yeah.
there's a newsletter. And so you can sign up and get emails with more talks like this. And if you have any ideas, come and let us know. Milady came up to us with a talk and suggested the idea. So,
I just want to say again, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your presence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just do your best to honor your ancestors the way you can.
Yes.
You know, don't need to be Haitian. We'll also honor your ancestors, the history of the house, these 5 women. So just do your best and respect everyone and one another and every culture. And thank you again.